TV. We're here at CEDIA 2023 in lovely Denver, Colorado. I'm back for the first time in a little bit. We're here with our good friend Michael Short at the Crestron booth. How you doing, Michael?
Fantastic. Thanks for coming. Nice to see you again here.
Good to see you. Yeah. It's been a minute.
Finally.
All right, my friend. You've had some big news this week, including the brand new OS 4 for Crestron Home. Tell us a little bit about OS 4, the changes it brings, and how dealers are going to implement this for their customers.
Sure. Well, this is a major update for us. OS 3's been around for 4 years. We've had 21 iterations and updates, but this is a major overhaul of the user experience, the look, the feel, and a ton of new features that have been brought to it. So some of the key things that you'll notice and see is the actual user experience from the look and feel standpoint.
Right.
New imagery, new icons, bigger text for those customers that really need to be able to see touchscreens from afar. Right. This is actually our new TST 1080 as well. This is our touchscreen controller. So lots of features, some key things when you go into room levels. We've kind of changed the way that people can search and move their rooms.
Yep.
We have standard views and compact views, all things that just make the user experience way better. We've brought things like paging to it. We've also brought Xfinity voice control, which I know you played with over there, which is big for us. And it's just a major overhaul of the operating system. Tons of new features. It's really great.
So when you start talking about the overview, is it something where customers, when they get upgraded, is it going to be a fully, new experience they're going to have to relearn, or does it build on OS 3 enough that they can, maybe not seamlessly, but very easily adapt to the new process?
It's a great question. So they will still know the experience.
Okay.
It's not an overhaul in terms of like a complete change up of how you experience Crestron Home. It's an elevated, updated experience. They'll still very much know what they're doing. In fact, they'll probably find it easier because we've reduced. No one wants to have to go down levels and levels and levels to make a change in the home, or to switch lights on. We've brought things forward, we've made it simpler, and they will know the experience, but it'll be a fresh, new, great one, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's a free upgrade.
That's fantastic. Can they upgrade it themselves, or do they need an integrator to do it for them?
Yeah, so the app will update themselves. They'll wake up in the morning, as long as on their iPhone or their Android device, the app will update. And then for the actual Crestron Home experience, there is a firmware update that needs to be pushed, but they will all get that completely free.
That's fantastic. All right, you talked for a second about Xfinity. On the remote control for OS 4, obviously it's got a voice microphone in it. It can now completely replace that Xfinity, or in my case, that Rogers remote, for voice activation of that device. Does it also do Apple TV?
Absolutely. So we're showing actually on the floor here Xfinity and Apple TV in a family room.
Okay.
And it natively knows whether you switch to Xfinity or switch to Apple, whether you're talking Siri or Xfinity. Totally smooth experience. You don't have to say anything else. The TSR 310 and OS 4 just knows what you're doing. It's a stunningly fast experience.
And there's no configuration required to make that work?
No configuration.
That's fantastic.
It's really cool.
One of the other things that we saw walking through the booth was some of your new lighting initiatives, including, if I understand correctly, the ability to bring in not only your line of lighting, but also Dolly or DMX or a couple other types of lighting control. How does that function within OS 4?
So with OS 4, you're correct. We're now unifying all digital lighting on one platform. So about a year ago, we launched our light fixtures. They have our own native driver called DMX-C in them. But we know that homes are going to have multiple layers of lighting using different protocols and different brands. So what we've done is we've taken the OS 4 experience, the Crestron lighting experience, and brought in DMX-C, Philips Hue, Dolly 2, laid that into Crestron Home to deliver the same experience, regardless of the protocol that you have in the home. It is an incredible experience, simplifying lighting essentially for our dealers and customers.
So if you've got a living room, for example, that has some of your lighting fixtures for downlights, and then it's got RGB tape running on DMX, and then it's got a Dolly pendant light, that'll all work natively and seamlessly, so essentially you can create scenes with everything involved and just make it function?
Yep, totally, exactly that. So the big news is for the dealers, it's a simplified way to bring all those protocols in, and for the customer, they won't know that they're using different protocols. It will just work seamlessly, dim up and down, color control. It is an absolutely fabulous experience. For us, it feels like a game-changing moment for the platform when we think about lighting.
That's awesome. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, you showed a couple new audio pieces, including something for MDU, which is a huge deal, but also something for local room control. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, so these are tech previews really for CEDIA because the products aren't launching till a little bit into next year. But there are 3 new products. The first is our DM-NAX 4ZSA50. That's a 4-zone streaming amplifier, perfect for MDU units, like you said, so smaller apartments where maybe you only need 4 zones of audio, or maybe it's a starter home where they're just maybe looking to do a living room, an outdoor area. So it's a beautiful device, it's small and compact, it's a little bit less expensive than the bigger 8ZSA devices. So that is a real great solution for those spaces. The second thing we spoke about was something we call a DM-NAX XSP. This is simply taking those local sources, maybe you've got a PlayStation in a kid's room, or even smart TVs now in many rooms, and simply HDMI in takes that audio onto the network, so you have multi-room audio directly from the source in the room. So a real problem solver for a lot of dealers. And the third product I showed you was the BTIO, our Bluetooth streaming device, which is a real great solution for Android devices or even Apple devices if you don't want to use AirPlay, where you can stream directly from the device straight into NAX and choose the sources or the rooms that you want to play it in. So we're just simplifying our range of products to make it easier for our dealers.
That's really cool. I want to come back just before we go to that HDMI CEC device. How is that getting it on the network?
So it's taking the local source through HDMI directly into the XSP, which is then going into our network switch, into our surround NAX device.
So as long as you've got something, a network that can support 8067, you can throw it on and just go.
100%.
That's 100%.
Fantastic. Cool.
Awesome, Michael, thank you so much. If people want to get more information about OS 4, but everything else that Crestron's doing, where can they do that?
Head to crestron.com/CEDIA and you'll have actually all the brand new products from the show, or if you just go to crestron.com, there's a ton of information out there on everything that we've launched here.
Excellent, thank you, sir.
Appreciate
your
it, man.
time. For more coverage from CEDIA and everything else that AVNation is doing, please visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.